I think everything looks good. Audio is probably much better than it was previously. If it's not, then let me know. Okay, this on to important matters. This isn't exactly the sexiest topic to discuss on this platform from an algorithmic standpoint, but it is a crucial element in programming that can make or break your enjoyment of training as well as the progress you make in the foreseeable future. So, this video is about rest periods. Rest periods, or how long you decide to rest prior to executing the next set, can actually vary from the various movement patterns. For instance, a deadlift may require you to rest roughly from 5 minutes, 6 minutes even, I've heard, even as asinine as that may sound, in between sets, while a bicep curl may only require a minute in between sets. The obvious answer behind this occurrence is, of course, due to the massive tax and fatigue you have to pay after you execute a deadlift, while a bicep curl in relation isn't exactly taxing because it's an isolation movement. Pretty obvious. Well, in my case, I ultimately rest for 2 minutes and 30 seconds in between my sets for a sumo deadlift. Conversely, I rest for roughly 1 minute between sets for isolation movements such as bicep curls, skull crushers, overhead tricep extensions, shoulder presses, spider curls, tricep pushdowns, hammer curls, lateral raises, you name it. I can name all the goddamn isolation movements of all time. Not really, I can't. My mind would probably just completely have a brain fog if I try to do so. So, interestingly enough, for movements such as the bench press, T-bar row, squats, and other compound weights besides the deadlifts, I only rest for 2 minutes. And to be honest, I did consume YouTube fitness content in my quest of determining the proper way to program. However, I never consumed them in relation to how long I should rest in between sets. I remember fondly feeling burnt out at Powerhouse Gym from my first ever barbell incline press. I'll never forget it. I had bench pressing no more than $125, and I was burnt the fuck out. I couldn't even remember what the hell my name was, and I probably rested in between roughly 5 minutes. If I'm being honest, it was longer than 5 minutes. If I'm being completely brutally honest, I was a newbie. I couldn't even. I couldn't even remember what fucking day it was, and Monday was International Chest Day. I didn't even remember what fucking day it was. So, and intuitively, these rest intervals. So I don't remember how long I rested for, but to my recollection, it was much longer than 2 minutes. Yeah, I said that already. And however, intuitively, these rest intervals got shorter and shorter, but I would notice a decline in performance because I wasn't resting enough. So it wasn't until everyone's favorite year of 2020, when the world went tits up and sacrificed their freedom for a false sense of security, that I decided to implement strict rest periods, because I knew I needed relevant intensity protocols if I wanted to make further progress without having access to a gym. Through weighted calisthenics, I implemented this rule of thumb. For compound movements specifically, such as weighted dips, weighted push-ups, pull-ups, and chin-ups, the rest periods were exactly 2 minutes. Shout out to my Samsung Galaxy Core Prime for holding it down with its timer before it decided to take a dump on me. Yeah, I used the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. It was an awesome phone, but after several updates, it got shittier and shittier, and yeah, I'm going to make a story about where exactly it is now eventually. That's some other time. On the other hand, for isolated movements such as tricep extensions, curls, and shoulder presses with the resistance band, because I didn't have access to a gym, I used a resistance band. I discovered I stayed in relevant intensity windows with rest periods of exactly 1 minute. Oh yeah, and to all the technical autists, yes, I know, you can't always calculate exactly to 1 minute, 1 millisecond. Shut the fuck up, we get it. The point is, I discovered how long I personally should rest through experience. Moving along, it wasn't until gyms reopened that I discovered how long I should rest between sets for hip hinges such as a sumo deadlift. Remember how I, throughout the beginning portion of the video, I said I rested between 2 minutes and 2 minutes 30 seconds? How I got there was interesting. Things got even more interesting when I also had to factor in my lifestyle requirements, necessitating that I keep workouts roughly for a minute and 30 seconds because I had school, I had work, so I wanted to keep workouts for roughly a minute 30 seconds. I didn't exactly have all the time in the world that I could to train for as long as I wanted, because everyone's favorite year 2020, when this is just a side tangent. Remember how people would always say that they don't have enough time to get in shape? Now, notice how these fucks got fatter after being in isolation for a couple of months, instead of actually training, performing calisthenics, or going for a walk or jog. But that's besides the point. Now, initially I had all the time in the world to train. However, when school really opened up, when I had my whole job I had to work on, I needed to keep my rest periods in between a certain interval, and I needed to keep my workout periods in between a certain time period because I needed to accommodate my lifestyle. So I'm getting a little off topic, but for the sumo deadlift, I tried resting 2 minutes in between. Initially, I did progress with this methodology, with this method of training. However, I ended up feeling the negative effects of resting for this specified period of time. That was until I ended up deadlifting well over 405. So everything went perfect. The 2 minute rest period went perfect. It wasn't until I decided to PR past 405 and I didn't feel it. I didn't have enough power to generate between my legs for these hip hinge movements. And what is hilarious is I solved this minor quandary by resting an extra 30 minutes in between sets. And I realized, so adding an extra 30 minutes, no, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. That's how I know I'm tired. But I added 30 minutes in between sets and I decided, no, not 30 minutes. What the fuck? Speak correctly. I added extra 30 seconds in between sets and I realized I had enough strength to actually move the bar. The bar had enough slack. I was able to get the fucking bar up above my damn hips, and I didn't feel like an out of shape water buffalo. I felt great, and I had enough power. So ultimately, the point I'm trying to make with this long-winded video, it's not even a long-winded video. It's 6 minutes long, 7 minutes, but the point I'm trying to make with this video is that general rest periods that are given to you on this platform are only heuristics. They're not, they're just general rules of thumb, and it's an oversimplification for solving a particular problem. The best way to learn is from experience. Instead of suffering analysis paralysis by the cesspool of advice you find on this platform, try to find a way to learn from your own experience. Don't just listen to what some UMG study, whatever the fuck that study is called, or those studies are called. Don't just listen to those studies and take them as gospel. No. Try to implement these things within your life and use these studies as a way to base yourself. See as if what the fuck I'm trying to say. What am I trying to say? But see if these studies are actually in alignment with what the fuck you're experiencing. Because what you read on a piece of paper is irrelevant. What a study says is irrelevant if it doesn't pertain towards your life. If it doesn't pertain to your life, then it's completely irrelevant. It might as well just be toilet paper. But if it does, if you're noticing these things, they gain more credibility in my humble opinion. With this platform, we strayed away from experience and we geared towards study because we're very science orientated. We decided to simply just go for it's almost like an appeal to authority in a sense. We're no longer applying the scientific method and the methodology of practicing. You form a hypothesis, you test the hypothesis, and you draw conclusions from whatever the hell you tested the hypothesis from. And how the hell does everything else go? What the fuck is the 4th grade science teacher to tell me the scientific method? But so can these results be replicated? Can they be replicated in the lab, or in this case, can they be replicated in the gym? It's your duty to determine that if you want to get better at programming. And that's it. I'll stick with this 9-minute long video, and I'll edit this video to take out the autism and the stuttering that I pretty much just shit it out for you guys. And all right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Peace.
Choose your fighter.